So ownership, provenance, maybe also the value, because as I understand it, an NFT work constantly would show you what the current value is.
Yeah, yeah.
To me, it also seems that most NFT, well, if it's only that, let me put it that way, why do most NFT works look the same? They are digital animations. I mean, if it's about that, a sculpture could be an NFT work.
Yeah.
But the current hype, we may call it, is basically about NFT works. Most of them would be animated short films, or as part of our tour guide given by you in the world of NFT, what other works are out there. And if it's mainly at this moment these short animations, yeah, how do you see it that it brings such a specific style of work at the moment?
So in theory, an NFT could be a certificate also for a physical work. It could be a certificate for a performance. It could be a certificate for a piece of intellectual property. In practice, people view it on their phone, and then you start to work towards what works on the phone, what is native to that. And I think moving images have been undervalued by the traditional art world because they're hard to sell. But in pop culture, moving image has always had a lot of impact. And so the zeitgeist, the cultural development, is much more moving image than art history leads us to believe. The museums tend to think in book publications, which are not so moving image friendly. And then hanging screens, you have all these cables hanging down, it doesn't look so cool. But I think in our daily lives, everybody grows up with moving images. So I think moving images have just been such a big part of pop culture that I see why they are big in NFT. I've always I always lean towards moving images for some reason. That's always where my ideas went, so I feel at home with that. The last few years I've also been going more towards still images, so I actually think the most successful NFT projects are stills, like Bored Apes and CryptoPunks. Those are quite medium specific, so they're programmed images that happen in a series, and there's a gamification of the ownership. It's not exactly my focus, but yeah, I don't have such a strong opinion on NFTs as a whole. I just see it as a tool for me. But the thing that I immediately related to was, like, I told you so. I told you digital image have value. I told you that we're all spending all our time here and we're building a collective memory, and that has value and it will be collected. So I felt very strongly. When I graduated, I started moving to different countries, and I just let go of most of my belongings because they were in the way. And I felt this category of digital nomad, there's going to be a lot of people who don't want to deal with physical objects. So we tend to think art has value because it's physical, and maybe in a few years it'll be the opposite. It's like, oh, I don't want to deal with an object that can break. I want to work with an NFT that can spread around the world and I can make backups. So maybe in a few years the idea that we attach value to physical things will seem just as silly as like having all your life savings in cash. Like, you wouldn't put your pension under a mattress. So yeah, that to me, I felt very vindicated, because I think a lot of people told me, oh, this will never work, this is stupid. And I was like, no, I think the digital has a value. So